I drink Dr. Pepper, don't you see? 'Cause it's the perfect taste for me. That original taste, you know, is making peppers everywhere I go.
Go to the LVO.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Signals from the Frontline, your every Wednesday live broadcast brought to you by the Frontline Gaming. We are your hosts, Kicker, the chief of cereal and sigillite of the FLG, and I'm Seth the Mad Doc, your apparently animated head of FLGN's LVO coverage.
What the hell was that?
Sometimes I worry that the tech priest has too much spare time. We need to give him more work, Kicker.
Wow. Yes.
Yeah. So, what have you been up to, Kicker?
Well, guys, as you know, something, this little event that's, taking place, a couple thousand people just for 40K, as well as a few other game systems there, largest Age of Sigmar tournament in the world.
Yeah.
That's taking place soon. And that has basically taken up all my time. If it looks like I haven't slept in a few days, it's because I haven't slept in a few weeks. But I'm running high right now on some cereal. It's keeping me going. But yeah, it has been a bit crazy since Christmas Day, just going nonstop, getting us ready. But despite focusing on the LVO, which is just in a few weeks, folks, I have been playing my beloved Guard. And guys, I love this army. I love it. It's like a homecoming. And I got to say, dude, like I'm not getting my ass kicked either. Like I'm playing smart. I'm feeling good about it. I'm running a lot of tanks. I am losing sometimes, but also winning, which is fun. So yeah, and I actually helped a friend pick up 40K too. This is an old guy I went to high school with, and he saw that the Henry Cavill and the Amazon things, happening. So he's like, oh, I know that 40K thing. I know a guy that I used to, know in high school that is somehow involved. So it's kind of fun teaching somebody new how to play a game that you absolutely love. Have you taught anyone, Seth, how to play 40K?
Not in a while, but I did many moons ago.
That should be your community
Kicker,
service deed, right?
Yes. I do have to ask a question. Didn't we
Shoot.
have some sort of bet for LVO this year?
We have a few bets. Which one are we talking about?
Well, something about maybe completing a 2,000 point army and then
Nope.
having a
I
judge.
can't. That was, I believe, something that took place in 2022. That year has been
Oh,
forgotten. We are in
we forgot
2023. I
that
could care
year.
less
Okay.
about your.
All
I
right.
live in
Well,
the future, Seth. I don't
okay.
live in the past.
You
I
look
live
forward. You don't look back. You don't hold
I
grudges,
don't look
you
back.
might say.
Like Pumbaa, I put
There's
my
no
past
judgment here.
behind me. Yes.
All
No,
right.
Seth, did you accomplish something miraculous here? Did you finish a 2,000 point Votan army?
Oh, I finished that a while ago, Kicker.
Okay.
I finished that by the beginning of December. But I too enjoyed the holidays.
All right.
Lots of video game time and some movies and some books and some relaxation. But I did start getting back into some hobby progress, but not the hobby progress you're thinking of, Kicker.
Oh, okay, cool.
Because if you remember a while ago, I made myself a choppa. I made you a bolt pistol. I made Shelby a fusion blaster, and I've always promised the tech priest a chain axe.
Ooh,
well, I mean, we're going to see the tech priest in like 3 weeks, so I've been working on that bad boy.
Bam!
Wow, that
chain
is
axe,
gorgeous.
Yeah,
dude,
gorgeous. We should probably remind our listeners right now, if you're listening to our podcast, you should be watching us live every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that we get these cool visual elements, and you get to be part of the live chat, which helps determine the future of our hobby we love, because we really do listen to your comments. There, Seth, describe this chain axe for those of
for the audio listener.
The audio.
So it's going to be about 4.5 feet long when I'm done with it.
Damn, man.
But importantly, I'm flying with this thing.
Yeah.
So I've designed it to actually collapse into 2 pieces so that, you can fit it in some luggage, and then it can fly home with the tech priest.
I'm so excited.
But it's a giant chain axe. I did as best I could to make a hand-drawn corn symbol and cut that out and slap that on there. So it's all damaged because, what world eater is in pristine armor? Let's be
real.
The tech priest has sent me some pictures of his world eaters that he's
Oh,
painted up,
beautiful.
so I can try to paint up this axe in his color scheme, so
Seth,
that
I'm seeing
it
in the
can match.
chat people wondering if you're going to take commissions because apparently this is a hot commodity right now.
I don't know. People have asked that a few times. I enjoy doing this, but I also kind of don't. I enjoy doing it when I want to do it, kind of thing. So I don't want to make my hobby too much of a job. I say that as I am on a show that I host every week now for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
So might be a little late on that front and in some regards. But anyway, kicker.
Yeah.
With the new year, GW has been kicking off tons of new products. So what product previews do you got for us in the industry?
We are getting bombarded in a good way, right? It's always exciting to new stuff. We just saw those brand new models that were released for the store anniversary models that they do every year.
Yep.
This year, we've got that really cool Votan model, which I know you're going to be stoked about because you're currently playing Votan. And they got the Age of Sigmar equivalent dwarf, I guess, an engineered looking dude.
I hot take. I don't really love his pose.
Yeah, really?
He's got the one arm extended like he's shooting a gun, which is fine, but then he's got the sword doing just this number. Like,
okay, the sword.
This is my sword. I'm gonna hold it straight upright in my other hand while I'm shooting.
But can we comment about this model a little bit though? Okay, so I know you're not a fan of the pose, but the bolter with the ammo feed going into his back.
The ammo
cool.
feed is pretty sweet looking.
Yeah. And have you noticed the animals? He doesn't have he's got lions. That's a kick-ass. Why are there not more lions on Votan minis? I have no idea.
Like the little beast heads they have on the end of their crest. There's like a bunch of different ones. So yeah, lions.
But these are the first time I've seen lions. They have like a boar and like a goat or like a sheep or something. Or it's a ram. I'm sorry, it's a ram.
Ram.
Ram, but a lion. That now we're talking.
Yeah.
So those are the models. And Seth, correct me if I'm wrong, but you can only get that at a Warhammer store when it's having its annual anniversary.
Correct. Yeah. Correct. So these are usually pretty difficult models to get your hands on.
Cool.
So
I
if
wonder
you do see one, grab it,
right? And they always go up on eBay, but for ridiculous prices.
Yep.
I wonder though, Seth, if these are going to be popular. Like we know the Votan are pretty popular, but do people play? That's the all Overlords. Thank you, chat. The Overlords, is that a popular faction in Age of Sigmar?
I don't know. Graduate Overlords. Right? I don't know. I'd have to check in with the AOS guys. I don't know if that's a popular faction, but he is certainly a sweet looking model.
Yeah, lots going on there.
I could definitely see some people using him as a Brokir Forge Master for Votan because the dude has a hammer in the game and he's like, I have a hammer. And I'm covered in armor. So
but you and I both know that Forge Master also has a kick-ass gun, which this guy would somehow need to. Yeah, no, come on.
He's got a gun. I don't know if I call it kick-ass.
I mean, it's a pretty good gun for like a support character. So, like think about like an Imperial Engineer. Like
World Eater Dicky.
Did you guys notice he has a little model of one of those airships in his hand?
Oh wow!
Oh, he does. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool.
I don't know how that's going to fit into a Votan army. Then I'm sorry. We'll get that one back.
I mean,
right. Deleted. We should talk about boarding actions. This is the big new thing that Games Workshop's releasing. This is their room to room squad combat, kind of like Kill Team, but it's on a Space Hulk. You got your 40k rule set, but less models, 500 points. Looking cool. This is starting off though with a big box set, and these boxes are massive. It's got 2 sets of the Into the Dark terrain in that one box.
Wow, that's a lot of terrain.
Yeah, it's a lot, and it's looking really, really cool. I mean, like it is a different way to play with your models and your army you already have. You don't have to go buy out new armies. You just got to have some terrain. With this, we got that cool little preview they released. I think it was this week on the Warhammer community page. I don't want to talk too much about it. Seth, what do you think about it though? Like real quickly, like
on the army building. Yeah, it's definitely I like the idea of having a limited cap on your force arc chart because this is meant to be a smaller scale game that you could, to my mind, is kind of the stepping stone into a larger scale game like 40k. So I do like having some limits there, and that kind of gives you some guidelines to start because 40k as a whole can be very overwhelming to a new player. So kind of giving them some guardrails to stay between early on in the beginning and then letting them branch out as they become more comfortable, I think is a good idea.
Yeah. And I think what is kind of cool is like, it is playing in a completely different sort of, I guess, environment. I mean, different rules, you got doors you can open. It looks like it can be a lot of fun. I know for Frontline Gaming, we're looking at possibly running this as like kind of an after hours thing. So you could play your
that'd be
40K
fun.
tournament during the
I
day. And then
have heard a lot of people think this would be a good beer and pretzels game.
yes, yeah. And like you said, it's smaller number of units on the table. It's a little I assume it's going to be faster play. I haven't played it, of
Well,
course.
and I mean, particularly if you're looking at it from that standpoint, that might work well because you could pull pieces out of your competitive army to assuming you have the command squad and some Ogren or whatever. You could pull those segments out of your competitive 40K 2,000 point and do a 500 point boarding action.
And much like Kill Team, it gives you an opportunity to try a fun little army that you might not want to do a full commitment to, right? I
Very
mean,
true.
you've really been eyeballing, AdMech, but you don't want to do a full AdMech army. Well, guess what? You can do one for boarding actions.
Yep.
So also probably more important than boarding actions, because this directly impacts the game we all know and love. This is the brand new chapter approved Arcs of Oman going up. Oman, sorry, going up.
Omen.
Omen.
You pronounced it wrong twice.
I know that's just how we pronounce it in Louisiana, right? No, okay. don't hate my culture. No, Arcs of Omen. That's going up for pre-order this Saturday. This is the new chapter approved, which will probably round us out for a good 6-7 months. It is going to be the missions you know and love, not necessarily the missions we're playing at LVO, and we're not going to discuss that no matter how many times chat asks, because we're waiting for the judges to make that call, which should be getting announced soon. Is the chapter approved, chapter approved going to get used for LVO? We will find out soon. We do know that this chapter approved is pretty major from the Warhammer community leaks already presented out there. It's obvious that this is going to completely change the game as we know it, for better or for worse. Seth, what do you think? Take it away.
The only thing they really previewed so far is the actual detachment change.
But that's huge.
And that is a very big change. There's a lot of unanswered questions that
Seth,
I don't.
Just before you go, can you describe that detachment for those that have not?
Yeah. So before you used to have a battalion or patrol with certain fixed choices. This is basically like a choose your own adventure detachment. I like to think of it. So you have to have 1 HQ and 3 of something,
of anything.
And then after that, you get 3 elite, 3 fast attack, 3 heavy support, like 9 troops, a couple more HQs, a couple super heavies, a couple fortifications. So it's one giant detachment that you can put everything in. So, and from what I can tell, you have that detachment, and then they also talked about doing they call them battle brothers, but sort of like allies. So you'll have one detachment to put your main army in, and maybe one detachment to put your ally in for certain. Like if I'm chaos, I might be able to have a demons, or if I'm guard, I might be able to have a knights.
But can we get spicy though, Seth? From what they've released, it looks like you can also bring in less common allies, right?
Yeah, because they did preview that Votan could be an ally for Imperium, and in the fluff, Votan can be mercenaries. I'm holding out hope for my beloved orcs to have Tau allies, so I can be the Torque once again.
Is there a precedent in any sort of lore?
No, not at all. God, no. The only precedent I think is there's like some orc freebooters that act as mercenaries.
Well, that's what I thought. I could see orc freebooters being like a potential Imperial ally, maybe. I don't know, kind of. But cool. But so that is going to change things up. So
it is.
It is. Some really weird combinations. You can go whole
opening up a lot of just list building options, and it's certainly going to affect how some armies no longer maybe be taxed by taking options they don't want, or they get easier access to more slots because different. I look at things. I'm a longtime work player. I don't know if you knew that, Kicker, but I'm a longtime work player.
No idea. Wow.
And the orc fast attack choices are good, but there's only so many fast attack slots. So being able to get access to 6 of those fairly easily without having to spend CP. It's very intriguing.
That's something that's important. You didn't mention you don't have to spend CP, so you can have a fast attack detachment basically without having to spend CP. Yeah. Seth, I mean, it is going to be the Wild West for a little while. Is it too loose? Is it too unrestricted? Who knows? I guess we
don't know. I'm sure someone's going to come up with some form of spam variant list that we're all going to be like, oh god, and I think that person is named Imperial Guard, and the thing is going to be out of line of sight shooting. If I'm honest, but
you think so?
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, those are things that they can adjust with points. Those are things they can adjust with rules like and balanced data slates, several balanced data slates ago, when they said, hey, orcs, you can just have 1 unit of each buggy type instead of 3 units of buggies. So there are some things that they can do to adjust and maintain the detachment as it currently stands. So
so it will be interesting. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's going to make it fun. I am not, I'm not a rules player, writer. I'm not involved with balancing anything. I'm just a guy that likes playing this game tremendously. And I kind of am extremely sort of completely, totally honest when I'm saying I'm excited about this, because I like to bring whatever the hell I like. I don't necessarily want to bring models because I'm trying to build a detachment. I just want to bring the stuff I like.
It opens up a lot more themey build. Like if you are playing the Armored Company,
Guilty.
probably doesn't have a lot of infantry running around. So if you can build a list that is just heavy supports and HQs and, some of the support vehicle tanks and fast attack and whatever.
And Seth, you saw my AdMech army. I ran a lot of the Sulfur Hounds and the Raiders. I love the cavalry and AdMech. I would love to be able to have an army that was nothing but tanks and cavalry, like no ground, no infantry whatsoever. Is it going to be good? Hell no. But I'd like that.
It's going to be great, is what it's going to be, Kicker.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. So this detachment will allow players to run, like you said, thematic or fun armies. So we'll see. I guess once we have our first couple of weeks of tournament play, we'll know if this is
certainly. We'll definitely see how this shakes out. It'll be interesting. Dorian in chat asks, and this is not technically the question you said you wouldn't answer, Kicker. Okay. It's do we know if Arcs of Omen will be used at Cherokee to LSO?
Oh yeah, I mean, we know the book's going up for pre-order. So 100% this will be used by Cherokee. Cherokee February 24th.
All right,
so you have a full
we'll definitely see it in play by Cherokee. So
so get ready.
Get ready. You got to be thinking ahead, guys.
You got to be thinking ahead. Let's talk about some of the other fun things. We have the brand new Space Marine boxes. These are some nice, fun thematic boxes. You got like a White Scars one with a bunch of vehicle bikes.
Or Kasaro Khan.
Yeah. Poor guy doesn't have a bike. But
I need someone to paint him up like the Flash. And that at least will lore-wise explain why he doesn't need a bike.
Exactly. It is kind of sad that he's the leader of this chapter, and he himself does not have a bike. Right, he just runs really, really, really fast. But what's kind of cool about these particular box sets is it's like there's real value. There's not a single model in there like I really don't need. I mean, I guess if you have Space Marine White Scars and you already have that model, whatever, you might not need it. But into that character model, you might not need it. But in general, they're all really good value. The Iron Warrior.
And if you're looking to get into a certain type of army build, these are a good way to kind of jump in and get usually most of these box sets, when you math them out, they're usually like about 30% off of buying all the models individually, so you get a little savings there. And you can always buy through a certain online company that we know, Kicker, that might give you a little bit more.
And if you use that affiliate link, you're helping feed Seth. So thank you. And
yes, and I'm hungry. It takes a lot of energy to build those chain axes.
Are we eating cheese sticks right now?
Yep.
Yes. All right. Sweet. I love it. I gotta say we got other than just the Space Marine stuff, we have a brand new, not a new book, but the book's coming out in paperback. I read this book when it first came out. Loved it. Kingmaker. It's about assassins. Like there's not that many books that just focus on assassins.
Read that one.
Oh, it's so badass, dude. So I like literally right when it came out, I'm like, oh, this seems kind of cool. It's about assassins. They're on a night feudal world doing their thing, taking out bad guys. I don't know. It's kind of cool because there's, I think, one of each of the 4 main assassin groups in the story, and they all have kind of their own, I don't know, personalities you get to follow along with. It's a fun book. Highly recommended if you play any Imperial faction.
Yep.
Hey, I wanted to say there was a Chaos model released a couple weeks back. Not a lot of people saw it though.
Which Chaos model?
Yeah, here.
Which one?
This one.
There we go. For those,
it wasn't released. It was previewed. One
previewed. There we go.
Run 2.
Well, I mean,
So for those of you listening, we're getting a beautiful photo of Azrael.
Well, just got to keep the joke alive, right?
All right. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. That is the Dark Angel chapter master there. Seth, thoughts on the remake, and Tech Priest, feel free to jump into. What are your thoughts on this, dude?
The upsizing, the glow up of Azrael. I like. I mean, the scale on Primaris is bigger. It makes them easier to paint. I like the bigger models. It helps, it gives them a big stature, kind of towering over their foes. So I like it. I know there are people out there that like their firstborn, but I don't mind the Primaris. So I'm excited to see Azrael get his grow up.
Yeah. I like the
Big boy
little
now.
Jawa guy. I'm not a Dark Angels fanatic, so I'm not exactly sure what the name
Watcher
is.
in the dark.
Yeah, it's
The Watcher.
he's got a chaos demon beside him holding his stuff.
Is that literally? wait, no. What is the like? Give me the cliff notes on the lore about the Jawas.
They just
Seth,
wander around the rock.
Seth,
Don't worry about it.
Seth,
Don't worry about
Seth,
it. They're
I'll
here.
let you take this one.
They would just wander around the rock and help out.
Yeah.
They're friendly little people.
Yeah.
Don't question where they came from. Okay.
Yeah, the Imperium
cool.
they have so much unity. They like to bring people into the fold, and these little guys, they just decided to bring chaos demons in, and
Hey,
hold
just-
my helmet.
I just really like the model because like my kid is really into Jawas right now, like the Star Wars guys. Houdini, you know what I'm talking about, right? Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly those guys. My 2.5-year-old son,
that's how
just
they
like,
keep the rock running. It's full of Jawas. We got
I
that.
mean,
We got
boom!
it.
Like
Yeah,
I am
makes
sold.
sense.
I'm starting a Dark Angels army. I want all the Jawas.
Yeah.
Like that. That is the goal here.
Chaos. We're always looking for people to come into the fold. I think personally, he would look better with come on, Seth, the chain axe. Clearly.
Yeah, probably chain axe,
Yeah.
right? But
You
but
guys.
most
and
armies
your-
look best with the chain axe over
Most,
sword. Axes
if
are
not
just
all.
better
Yeah.
than swords.
Okay.
Seth, so you're a fan of it. Do you like the back banner though, right? Or do you think that's kind of an
I don't like the back banner mainly because I hate like traveling with them and they break.
they always snap off and stuff, yeah. Okay, really important stuff. Let's talk about it. The new 2023 silhouette previews.
Yeah,
the
they
GW
did
previews.
a bit of a roadmap and they showed us a bunch of cool silhouettes.
All right, Seth, take the first one. You know what it is.
It is 100% Snickrot, which now I'm guessing that these silhouettes, because at this point with Guard being out, every army has their codex. So if they're going to introduce new models, and they've already showed us that they're going to be like 3 or 4 Arc of Omen narrative campaign books coming out. To me, if we have narrative campaign books coming out and we have these one-off models, they're probably going to be featured in those campaign books somehow. With World Eaters being the exception in terms of like codexes that are probably going to get multiple models. But like Vashtar there, you like that, he's going to be in a campaign book, I guarantee you. And like, where are we going to get the rules for Azrael? They're not going to release a whole new Dark Angels codex. They're just going to throw them in there. The first model that struck my eye, Snickrot.
Yes.
Blood Axe, Commando. That means orcs are going to get featured, which means I get new orc rules. I'm excited.
And I mean, what was the giveaway? I mean, I thought the knives, that was the giveaway, right?
The knives, yeah. His knives are they're Mork's teeth, is what they're called.
Well, another giveaway was the it has to be a
Tech Priest.
I was going to say, let's go down the list. So I have it queued up so we can go down the list.
Okay.
And
well, the one right here is definitely Dark Elder, right? I mean, look at that.
Probably,
that is spiky.
Probably a Beastmaster, which that range was all older sculpts.
Yeah.
So that's probably all going to get updated, which would be cool.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll go next one. I'll go. Wait, I was going to
He's got the bird. Okay.
That looks like I might need a little bit more spin on that.
No, that's our BDs. That's our BDs, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just trying to like get the scale. It looks like those are, I'm trying to tell if those are pants or if that's like carapace armor.
Yeah. So, geez, I don't know.
Can
He's got a
tell
shield.
Wait, no, you can't tell. It's just pants. They're wearing
So
pants.
If it's pants, then it's Arbides. But if it's like power armor plating, maybe
maybe they have. I see knee pads.
So it's definitely our BDs. He's got a shield. The helmet is like the helmet is a perfect replica of the helmet you expect the RBDs to have. Right. And also, guys, and we're just going to say this right now. We know the RBDs are coming. If you look at the preview on Warhammer Community for boarding action, they mention RBDs. They mention them. That's a squad you can take as an ally, whatever. So like it's already in a Warhammer Community that we know that there's going to be RBDs in boarding actions. So boom, there you go. There's
all right.
There
he is, Snickrot.
Okay. It's got to be.
It's definitely the knives. Mork's teeth are very iconic looking. And he's got a great sculpt to begin with, but
I like the shush.
I'm not going to complain.
The shush
I'm not going to complain about a new sculpt. But yes, the shush is very iconic.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Okay, I have no idea what this is.
I know
what do you guys think?
Seth, I mean, as the longtime Tau player, go ahead.
Tau player. I don't know if this is Tau. This give me a little bit more spin.
I am liking the base though. It looks like a tree or something.
Let me go.
It looks like we've got like if it is Tau, it's a very interesting. I could see the thighs. Yeah, and like this is like probably like the crotch plate here. Yeah,
Are you
I can see
staring at
this
his
being a
crotch?
Tau.
Who's the
And
only Tau character with a sword?
if it's got a Tau with a sword,
that's a
that means it's
sword.
got to be Farsight.
Yeah,
Farsight.
I
it'd be
was gonna get
Farsight.
there.
Okay, it
Jesus,
took
I was trying to
forever.
explain myself.
Do we
Forever.
know how old the Farsight model is? The current Farsight model, is it ancient?
The current one is actually not too old,
Okay.
because they did it in Finecast.
Okay.
I want to say 8th edition.
Well, what's interesting is like we know Synchron or whatever your orc dude's not
Synchron.
that old,
Synchron.
right? And this Farsight's not that old. It's kind of nice they're refreshing, not
Yeah.
like ancient models.
Yeah.
Just
Well, I
models that
mean,
you
I
know-
absolutely. So the thing with like Farsight is he has like really long streaming tapestries coming off him
Okay.
in Finecast.
Oh yeah, no,
That is horrible.
terrible.
So
And you
I'm
see
excited to
it
see
on
that
the
coming
end
up.
of the sword here. You can
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
And yeah, they're just a nightmare. They break off. So I'm excited if they're doing them in plastic to have a more durable Farsight model.
Yeah. Okay,
Just
and
purely
I
functional
believe
reasons.
There's one last one.
All right.
Yep. Yeah, this is what I was when we were respinning the Arbites. I was checking because I think this is a Primaris Marine with some big ass gun.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of, and this is just me not talking with, like I've not heard anything on like internal info. This is just what's out there on the internet, right? Like everyone's talking about some sort of new Space Marine heavy weapon
I
kind
mean,
of
he
dude.
looks like he's like the gun. If that's a Primaris Marine, the gun is almost as big as he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to be
Seems
a
about
hefty,
accurate. Yeah.
hefty profile. That's going to be at least heavy 12, damage 19,
Damage
strength
19.
14, AP 7.
Yeah, 3 mortal
Assault-
wounds on top. 3
assault,
mortal
yeah.
wounds on top. Just
Yeah,
because
definitely. This thing's going to be a beast.
Yeah.
It's going to
All
blow
right.
those dirty world eaters out of the water.
No.
But it's nice. We've got exciting, fun things coming, guys. This is wonderful. We love this. We love this.
Yep.
Why don't we talk about any kind of, I guess we might as well talk about it, Seth. Have you seen any interesting things that you want to talk about? Upcoming rules? I always like to give you this little like section here of stuff that you want to just, take it away. Upcoming things, anything that we got to worry about? Anything overpowered that's terrifying? I know the Arcs of Omen.
Guard
detachment?
is really strong.
Really? What builds of guard though? What
Well,
builds?
I have watched a few games, but there's those armored sentinels
Yeah.
are actually fairly strong, and the fact that they can forward deploy, and if you forward deploy a bunch of them, because you can get them in squads
Okay, I'm
of
going to
3,
stop you, dude. You can't forward deploy the armored, only the scout, but close enough. I know. They
They're
have the
still pretty
same
darn
damage output.
fast, right?
Yeah, right. They're so the
Yeah.
armored move 8 inches, scout move 12. Scout get to forward deploy, but armored have
Okay,
more.
I'm getting lectured by the guard player
Sorry,
here.
I love this stuff. This is like one of the
But
only times I
it
get
gives
to,
them
like-
a lot of really fast, strong upfield presence. They can do a lot of damage to you in a hurry. Their no line of sight shooting is very strong. Their tank shoot, they're going to be a very strong shooting army, and they have the resources, I think, to be very good at trading.
Yeah.
Because with having just come off of playing Votan, I was weak. My inner orc had to be suppressed for a bit. But there's not a ton of resources in a Votan army because of the points changes that we had right after the Codex came out. Guards seem like they could pretty easily trade with them and come out ahead on that resource trading.
Yeah,
So
that's fair.
that's
fair.
definitely something to keep an eye on moving on.
The
and we
Sentinels
do know
are
that-
cheap, man. We're talking 40 and 45, 40 for
Yeah.
the scout, 45.
And we are kind of expecting here at some point to be seeing a balanced data slate, including some points changes. GW has said that's coming sometime in the new year. Well, we're in the new year now. It's only 4 days. Give them time. You never know. GW, when they say, January, they might mean January 30th. Who knows? But if there aren't point increases for guard in there, but there are point increases for other armies that have been doing very well, like Tau, and they lose more resources because they have points increases, could put guard in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, and I mean there are ways to fix something like the Sentinels really quickly, because the Sentinels, one of the reasons they're so good
that's
is
a
they
great
have
way. You
all the
just charge 'em.
keywords. They have all, you can charge them, but the Sentinels have all the keywords, right? So they can get buffed by all the strats, they can get buffed by all the orders. So that really gives them an advantage. So if they ever wanted to do an option other than fixing by points, they could probably remove a keyword or two to make them a little less buffable, I guess.
Yep.
Why don't we talk really fast about the upcoming events, because we have a bunch of them. Let's start with
Are there
LVO
more events
later this
after
week.
LVO? I only
After
know
LVO.
LVO.
We got to talk about LVO. We got some good
All I
stuff for
know is
LVO first.
LVO.
So it's later this month, LVO. Guys, I saw the LVO dice, and they are by far the coolest we've ever done for one of our events. Everyone knows that we do these really cool event exclusive dice. These ones are a whole new type of dice for us. They are
Old new.
just badass. Important, if you are a high roller, you get these dice in your high roller package, but everyone else, if you should pre-order them, but they're no longer available for pre-order. But if you didn't already pre-order them, we'll have a couple hundred sets, but they will sell out by Friday afternoon, so make sure you get them. They will be available at the Frontline Gaming store on Friday, the store being the one in the exhibitor hall.
Okay, not at the desk you're checking
not the
in
desk
at.
Not the desk.
If you guys had to get dice like sales there, we would be waiting for a while.
Yeah, we're gonna try and really make we actually came up with this. We came up with this really.
If someone wants them now, could they order them online now?
No. We haven't even shown them. They're going to be a big surprise. The first time they will be shown will be at the early registration on Thursday night, where you can, get your con badge. You can get all your pre-orders Thursday night, and then Friday you can go right to your tables. We'll have them available for sale Friday.
So Mad Stampede to the vendor hall.
Yes.
Take no prisoners. Get those dice, Marcos.
The dice are so badass. Like I am like I don't know. I want a few sets myself. But okay, let's also
you
talk
can't
about
make that happen.
Well, we really try to give like first dibs to the players. Like I don't buy myself a T-shirt.
I understand, Kicker. I was just you're like you literally ordered the dice. You couldn't have been like and throw 10 more in for Kicker.
Well, okay. I'm trying to bank on like somebody just not picking up one of their pre-orders, and I can just like hey, you didn't pick up your pre-order. Mine now. But the dice are cool, so you can get them Thursday night of the early registration, as well as of course Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But they will be sold out by Friday afternoon. A few other things. We might have some other fancy new items made from Frontline Gaming that you can see at the event. That's kind of like one of the hide and go seek. I don't know if that's the right term. The scavenger hunt. That's the right term. So the scavenger hunt at LVO. You can see. There'll be some stuff at LVO. Go look for them. This time last year it was the table. So look around for something cool. And GW told me that they're going to have an insane amount of inventory of all the brand new stuff on site at the LVO. So Games Workshop does bring a massive store. Like they bring, if you've never been to the LVO, you just can't fathom it. They bring all their stuff, and they have inventory of all the new. They typically have inventory of all the new stuff and plenty of quantity of that. So
Kicker, if you got the high roller package that comes with the dice, do you get that at registration, or do you have to pick those up?
Good question. So when you go to registration to get your convention badge to go in, we're using like these really nice silicone wristlets, right? Mm-hmm. When you get your convention badge, you'll tell us your name. You'll tell us if you got a high roller package. Actually, there's a VIP line for the high rollers. We'll have our crowd, basically our bodyguards, our bouncers will be directing everyone to the appropriate line. But yeah, the high rollers and anyone that got a package deal or a pre-ordered item can pick up those pre-ordered items when they get their con badge. And once you got your con badge, you never really have to go back to early registration again, other than maybe participating in the Challenge Coin Awards, which are Challenge Coin prizes and stuff, which we'll be having throughout the weekend.
Now, this is the one I need to bring Tech Priest in. Tech Priest, I believe you and I had a discussion at some point, privately, but I'm going to call you up publicly here.
Private.
Did you not agree that when we were at LVO, if there was a certain Forge World model there, you would buy it?
Oh shit. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, we'll ask around.
What model was that?
It is the giant bloodthirster guy, right?
Yeah. I think if anyone's listening from HGW, maybe we just put one of those to the side with Tech Priest Dickie's name on it, or if a listener wants to make sure that they have it, and come let us know. I will certainly make sure that message gets.
I gotta. You're gonna die? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've poisoned
you.
You're force choking me.
Force choking you. Stop! Shut up.
Straight up, guys. They're bringing, of course, their Forge World store as well. So yes, Tech Free Sticky. There will most certainly be at least one of them. Usually bring one of each Forge World.
There's gonna be. I'm gonna have so many World Eaters to paint. Like I don't need that in my life.
You don't have to paint the Chain Axe.
Oh.
And bring an extra suitcase. Seriously, if you got a high roller package, or if you plan on going shopping, pro tip: bring a very large suitcase or an extra backup duffel or something.
Or a chain X that collapses into 2 pieces, so it can fit in that suitcase.
One of those. Let's talk about Cherokee real fast. Cherokee, the room block at Cherokee. Cherokee's at the end of February. That room block is basically sold out. We have a few more rooms there. You do not want to not stay on site at Cherokee. Cherokee's up in the reservation. There's not too many options outside of the resort. The resort's very favorably priced. Our discount is extremely well priced. It is one of the nicest venues we do our events at. And yeah, Cherokee's a lot of fun. Going to be a big event. Don't miss out on your room, because otherwise you're staying probably one town over. Rocky Mountain Open, talking about things being sold out. The Rocky Mountain event, which is actually in March, so not even after Cherokee, that event is basically sold out. I mean, that event is the fastest event, like entire event, that we've ever had to sell that well. It is only 40K, Age of Sigmar, and Legion. 40K is almost sold out. Age of Sigmar is almost sold out. Legion is totally sold out. So that's the Rocky Mountain Open in March. Right. And BAO, sorry, I got to remember this. BAO is going live next week. So yeah, that's in May. Look, the world's starting all over again. It's a whole new season, guys.
A whole new
world. A whole new world. Seth, what's happening on the FLGN? Anything fun going on?
Lots going on the FLGN. We had Grim After Dark come back and kind of kick the week off again for us. And then Liam Hackett was on the audio episode of Champions of 40K with Steve Joel. He's back to doing his show, so that's great to hear. We also, last week, I believe it was either late last week or early this week, John over at Grim launched the FLGN merch store, so you can find that in the links in the video and take you to all the various merch that you want. If you want to get some shorts with Kicker and I's logo on it, you're welcome to. If you want a coffee mug with the Grim set on the background, you can get that. You can get whatever you want. So check it out. Other network things that have been going on, and this is the part where I get to kind of throw some fun stuff at Kicker. I have been heavily preparing, along with everyone else on the network, for the FLGN's presentation at the LVO. We'll be bringing to you how many hours of content do you think there, Tech Priest? Probably close to 36 hours of content, you think, right?
Yeah, around 36. And that's if we don't do like a side stream with this Thursday show for sure. Yeah.
So it's going to be a lot of content, and the network crew is hard at work in the background planning out the minute by minute decisions for that content. And so my area, like I've said last week, or maybe it's 2 weeks ago now, I am your sideline reporter, along with Dustin Henshaw from the Thursday show and Danny McDevitt from Grim. And my area is mostly, I'm focusing on the other events outside of 40K, and so I've been working on that, getting in touch with the TOs. I asked the Facebook group what people want to see storyline wise. I got tons of feedback on that, which is great. I super appreciate that, guys. But I'm here again to ask you for some help, guys.
And you're so needy.
I know, but I want to make sure the community get what they want out of this. So we have the option to do super chats on YouTube, and we have the option to do hype trains on Twitch. Now, a lot of different streams have certain goals. If we get to a hype train of a certain level, we're going to be able to do X, Y, and Z for you. If you super chat us a certain amount, we'll be able to do X, Y, and Z for you. And we have some ideas internally what we want those goals to be, but I want to know what the community wants for those goals. Yeah. What do you want us to see us do on the stream for you guys if you were to super chat us, or if we can get a hype train going? What are some kind of milestone goals? Tech Priest, what do you think would be a good idea?
Ooh. Well, I think one of the funny ones was for every dollar or whatever raised, Adam would have to take a sleeve off. I think was one of them.
I don't think he has that many sleeves. I do remember right? There was a joke about for every dollar that was raised, Seth would have to paint one orc boy.
Jeez.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, that'd
be bad.
That's going to be a lot. But I can do it if we did that. I do know that we've talked about a few ideas. One of them was maybe going to check out your friend's game if you super chatted a certain
Oh,
amount.
I like that a lot. That's cool.
Yeah. We're still settling on what those amounts would be and how often we can do that because we can't be constantly running around. Kelsey, be careful asking for me to dance for money because you're there too, bud, and we will make you dance too. So just you can throw these ideas out, but we could also make you do them. So I personally think it would be great if we could just make with our two main commentators being Peter Colissimo and Adam Camilleri, if we could just make them eat some really horrible food on stream.
Yeah, like dude, like eat a jalapeno or something every time someone donates $20.
Eat a jalapeno while commentating.
Peter the Falcon eat like 3 million Scoville unit hot sauce.
Okay, man. All right,
choose which game to cover. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah. No, choosing what game to cover is awesome. And I know that Seth, Tech Pretty Sticky, Val, the whole crew. You guys have been working on this for weeks now. I know the FLGN's presentation of the LVO is going to be far better than anything we've ever had before.
Yeah,
and I think we have the technology to allow you guys to go cover random tables throughout the weekend. So that would be amazing. I think
know that we have the tech worked out because it is the same tech for Seth go cover AOS, Seth go cover War Machine. It's the same rig. So I'll probably be putting a post up on the Frontline Gaming community page on Facebook for people to throw their ideas into there. Probably tomorrow. Look for that, and then we can get those together and get them to the team.
Sweet.
So that being said, Kicker, let's get into our air quotes main segment. We've been going for 40 minutes.
I think the main segment was like all the predictions earlier. The model guesses, I guess.
2023.
Yes.
We got a whole new year ahead of us.
Whole new year.
Let's make some predictions, Kicker. Now,
okay.
I personally
wait. To cover my butt, some things I just have to tap out. All right.
That's fine. That's fine. Understood, bud. Understood. Now, my opinion is that we're on the end of 9th edition.
That is your opinion.
They've got all the main codexes out. Usually every 3 to 4 years it gets refreshed. So with nothing but kind of campaign books ahead of us, what do you think they're going to do with those campaign books? What do you think where are we going, Kicker?
So I legitimately don't know what they're doing with the campaign books.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we do know that big scary demon techno monster looking thing is coming at that guy. He's coming at the end of a campaign series. So I assume,
I don't know. I think he'd be at the beginning. He's the big bad.
I think he'd be the beginning. Well, isn't the beginning the first one? Isn't that like already with boarding action? I don't know. Maybe I'm getting that all confused. Isn't boarding action?
I think boarding action might be its own separate thing.
Okay,
but I mean, I think they have shown us that there are going to be 3 Arc of Omen campaign books.
Okay. Cool.
From a narrative standpoint, I don't know how you have something big scary without, waiting for book 3.
Well, you don't think he's like the final boss? Like you get to the campaign?
I think he shows up and then everyone's like, "Oh crap!
Okay,
what is that guy?"
Okay. Well, I do like the idea of that. Them like we talked about earlier in the episode, them using the campaign books to kind of focus on, the Tau character, the Orc character, because it allows you to introduce a new model, create some fun rules around it. Do you think we're going to get a Primarch before then? No, right?
I mean, technically, yeah, Ingron.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, gotcha.
Got me. Right, cool.
I've heard the rumors that they have all the Primarch sculpted on the shelf. I don't know. Like, I'm sure it ain't cheap to get those things designed and sculpted. And if I'm GW and I have the sprues made, why is it sitting on the shelf?
Yeah.
Like, why is it not out there? So I don't know, maybe they've got another Primarch in the works besides that. I mean, we do kind of have a really heavy lean towards Chaos Primarchs. Maybe let's bring back some of those loyalists.
We need some more good guys. Seth, I'm going to ask you this question. Don't ask me the question back. Do you think we're going to get another chapter approved before, the theoretical end of 9th?
All right. So again, this is my opinion.
Yeah.
But they typically release new editions in the summer, June, July-ish. And that's not just 40K, that's AOS as well. So if that was the case, if they were going to come out with a 10th edition in the summer, I think Arc of Omens might be the last tournament pack for this edition, because I don't think we're going to see, that's 6 months. Yeah. Now, that being said, they have previously said that theoretically balance updates are every 3 months. So we could have one more balance update during this tournament pack, I think.
Yeah. Good point. Good point. All right,
So-
let's talk about some fun stuff. What about new models? We saw the silhouette models. Do you think we're gonna get models outside of that silhouette? We have to. GW is always
definitely.
releasing models, right?
Definitely, because the rumor engine stuff, there's been a lot of pictures of Votan models that are not
Obviously
the
Votan
store
models.
model. And so either they're previewing us models that we aren't going to see until like the next Votan Codex, which why would you release a new Votan Codex in this edition?
Yeah.
If again, under the assumption the edition is about 6 to 8 months from its end. So it doesn't make sense that there would be a new codex. So I think there are probably going to be some more models that we don't know about.
And do they
Particularly if the Arcs of Omen detachment say that Votan will be an ally to Imperium. So they're going to say, hey, there is going to be small Votan detachment, maybe helping out some Imperial armies. I think that'd be a great way for them to introduce some more
And
models.
Seth, they've been pushing Votan hard in the rumor engine. I mean, like we've seen like at least 5 different Votan. Well, maybe I'm exaggerating, but like 4, quite a few Votan, like very clearly, like that is the Votan shotgun. That is the Votan axe. Like it's no question about it. So we know they're on the horizon, right? Oh, hey, Tech Priest.
So, we talked about 10th edition. Usually with 10th edition, there's a new baddie that gets a glow up.
Yeah.
What baddie do you think would get a glow up in this?
Orcs.
You guys got gas. There's no bigger and
Give me more.
Got one, right?
Give me more.
I mean,
I want a new Stompa kit.
Yeah.
Jeez. I mean, do you have an idea, Tech Priest?
I mean, when you look at the ranges, I would say Drukhari are relatively new, right? That kinda maybe.
No, but they don't have a big bad guy. Like they don't have some
they
cool
gotta
guy
make
riding
Vect.
a throne.
They need Vect in there running.
Yeah, Vect.
Yeah. So we just Necrons. Chaos was a little while ago. Orcs have had some glow ups here and there. But Tyranids are the one.
Exactly what I was thinking.
The one baddies.
Tyranids.
That I haven't they need new stuff, right?
They need something like Old One Eye, like a big monster that is a character or some sort of special named blah blah blah.
Yeah.
They need
and I will say a lot of those models do hold up. But I think they can do a bit better with some knit stuff. So it'd be really cool.
No,
I have to go with what Seth was saying earlier though, like a big baddie like that. But I think we do need some good guy Primarchs. So like we need a few more.
Yeah. Give the good guys some time in the light. This whole edition has been like, so the Imperium has been sundered in 2 and Chaos is running rampant. And you're like, we need some more bad guys. Like, come on, give the Imperium a little bit of
reinforcements. Well, why don't we talk about the 10th or possibly future edition whenever that may happen. Seth, what changes do you hope to see in that future of
I don't know. I mean, I definitely feel the strain of so many different rules layered on top of each other. So I think I like the core mechanics that we have in this edition, but I think it would go a long way if we go back to something from older editions, which is universal special rules.
Oh, okay, cool.
That do you
think that will detract? I mean, even though the rules the exact same, but like having that fun name, do you think that would take away from some of the, I guess, immersion of the game?
No, because you can still say like, sake of argument, let's go with Deep Strike. A Space Marine, it could have the rule Death from Above, and then the rule is this unit has the Deep Strike ability.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
And then the Orcs could be like dive bomb attack.
Yeah.
And then, this unit has the Deep Strike.
And Terminators have teleport.
They can give it a fluffy name,
Yeah.
but then they can say, this is the rule out of the USR that you're going to use.
Okay.
And that just cleans up a lot of the interactions, because a lot of interactions in the game are phrased similarly, but not exactly.
Yeah.
And then you get some rules lawyering. So I think that would just go a long way to clean a lot of that stuff
but
up.
we can agree
And
though
then-
that 8th edition was really, really good, and 9th
Yeah.
edition is better than 8th. Can we agree to that?
And like I said, I think the core mechanics of the rules I like. I don't want to see a massive change to it. We saw a big change in the core mechanics between 7th and 8th, and then a minor adjustment between 8th and 9th. I don't mind a minor adjustment in terms of the core mechanics, but I think something like that would go a long way, the USRs. So that would be my hope.
Do you think though that do you think that stratagems is too much? Do you think we have is that too much part of the game?
I've definitely heard the complaint from a lot of my narrative friends back in Baltimore. Definitely feel like there's way too many stratagems, and so I think if I really had my godlike powers to turn the game into whatever I want. I think if there was a real hard separation on tournament match play rules versus open play rules.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So like if you literally were like, here's 6 stratagems in your codex that are for open play, all games can use these, but for tournament play, here's maybe another 6 that are tournament play only.
That's it. Yeah.
You know, but the community is always kind of not really enjoyed having those types of distinctions. They want, you know, their cake and eat it too. They want to have all the complexity, but you know, power level hasn't been widely adopted in terms of open play. You know, it's if you do a crusade system, but random pickup games in the store on a Saturday, that's usually not what people are playing. So I think you could definitely shorten the list, but I also kind of like the granularity of,
Yeah.
you know, what trick do I have to try to pull myself out of this tight spot in this particular game, and losing those tricks would make
It's
me sad.
already an amazingly complex game. I would hate to, to try and balance it with stratagems is hard, but I do think they add a lot of fun. Like they add some cool, I don't know. I like them. See, here we go. We're talking about stratagems. Like I also really like secondaries. I love the faction specific secondaries because I love the idea of like my guard have a very different rule mission set than your Necrons. Like you guys are trying to destroy and I'm just trying to survive. Like I love that, but I don't envy being in GW's position and trying to balance that.
It's
Like that's hard.
certainly, it also makes it a lot more hard for them to balance.
Yeah.
So I think
Hey,
that's
guys in
certainly an
chat, what do you think? Do you think
what they think
faction
is that
secondaries are
I
good?
should apparently have a wrestling match with Nassim Fuchain. So I don't know. I mean, I've never met Nassim in real life, but Tech Priest does have my back in chat saying that I am a big man. So,
But chat and Seth, I mean, do you guys like the faction specific secondaries? Do you hope we keep them forever? Because like I said, I personally really like them. But what are your thoughts? Because that is a contentious point, right? Should you get to choose all three? Like, can all three of yours be the faction
I
specific?
certainly think it. You know, we talk about balance, and for instance, Necrons have really good secondaries.
Yeah.
So their codex that in and of itself was not necessarily that strong. Those secondaries really, really, really helped bring that army up competitively. And so armies that don't have good secondary options really lag behind. So
Yeah.
that's certainly, I definitely think that's an important point when talking about balance. But Kicker, let's talk about our hopes and dreams
Ooh.
for the tournament scene over
Oh,
the next
okay.
few months. What do you hope to see happens in the tournament scene? What units do you want to see make a rise? What armies do you want to see surprise people on the tabletop? What armies have you just been sick of seeing and hope they get a nerf?
I mean, okay, so in a dream world, we go back to this place where we have a pretty good spread in terms of win percentage. Like everything's up there, nothing's
Yep.
too extreme. Like you have some consistency, right? I want people to be able to play Gene Stealer Cult or Necrons or whatever the hell they want and have a good time. Like I want there to be that, but that's kind of really optimistic. If I wanted to
What
like,
about your armies? What unit has been languishing on the shelf that you want to see get its time in the sun?
I mean, that's my guard right now, right? Like that is my guard. But I would love to be able to try AdMech with this new AOO, as we're calling it, Arc of Omen. Like the idea of running a bunch of cavalry. Like I kind of would love to take them off the shelf.
They've been struggling secondary wise. Their secondaries weren't really good. You know, so maybe getting them some good secondary love there. What else?
But what about you, Seth? Like what are you hoping to?
You know, orcs have had a pretty good win rate, but I've always, you know, I've there's a certain unit in orcs that I have a soft spot for.
Oh, okay.
When I started the army, they had one flash kit. It was a single model and a clamshell. And so I built my own flash kit unit out of knobs, and then they made the flash kit is amazing. And I love my flash kits. They're super excited. They just never get to see the table.
Yeah.
I have this really dumb idea that it would be cool to put like 30 flash kits inside 3 individual squigots and just stomp around the table and shoot. So I really just want to see flash kits be good. And that's my hope. Make flash kits great again, GW.
That's all you need. That's all you need.
That's all
All
I
right.
want.
Well, we're talking about like single units being good, man. I got to say, Rattlings. I've always liked the Hobbits, man. I would love.
They need new models.
They need new models.
They need
new models.
GW, get some new Rattlings in there.
Get me some Rattlings, please. Do you want to talk about ARC predictions and what's going to be happening?
I mean, we haven't seen the second. GW did a battle report today, where we saw like a few guard and Necron ones, but we haven't really seen much else besides the formation with the CP changes. I think the CP changes are interesting because for some armies, it opens up a lot more options. Getting a lot of CP when you start the game. But like, orcs, I typically were running 2 detachments to get 2 war bosses, which was costing me, if I had a second patrol and then, extra warlord trait, extra relics, that's 6 CP spent. That's all my CP. I'm done. Now with I forget the name of the stratagem they previewed, but basically you can take a second unit that's limited to just 1 in a detachment. So I could have 2 war bosses. Heroic something.
Yeah.
I could have 2 war bosses and get both relics and warlord traits. Now I'm only spending 5. It saves me a CP, but maybe not necessarily. I don't know. So I think that I don't know if we're going to see a ton. I think there's definitely going to be some armies that struggle with CP still, because a lot of the codexes, in my opinion, when they were writing them, they were balancing the stratagem costs around you having 12 starting CP.
Yeah.
And now you have 6.
That's fair. That's fair. Good
So
point, Seth. Good point.
If they don't do something in the balance update to say, hey, yeah, these early codexes, your Marines, your Death Guard were early on, Orcs were kind of early on, Drukhari, Admech, a lot of their good strats were 2 CP. If they don't cut those back to 1 CP in the 6 CP world, maybe they'll struggle. So I was kind of hoping to see that. We'll see. I don't know if that'll be in arcs or if that would be in a balance thing.
Yeah, Seth, I've been so busy with LVO prep right now, but so correct me if I'm misspeaking here. But can you put in the new ARCS book, right? Can you put all your units in reserve for free? Oh, not all your units, but you can
they
put
did
units
say
in reserve
that
for free.
Strategic Reserve is now free. You could
Cool.
just put stuff in there. But that is the walk off the table edge reserve.
Yeah. But it's I mean, I'm just trying to think of ways that they're giving you CP without giving you
I mean, they're
CP,
definitely
right?
giving you some more. But again, this is what I want.
That's what you want. All right.
There. Now,
Hobby goals.
Hobby goals 2023.
Hobby goals. We got to do it.
For me, I don't know.
Come on.
I left it blank on the page. I thought I'd think about it here on air because I've got my Votan painted up pretty well. I have my Tau army. I got my Orc army. I have like an old painting project Space Marine army, but there's nothing like jumping at me that I want to do.
All right,
so I don't know.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
I definitely want to keep plugging away and adding to the Votan because I had a very limited. Here's my 2,000 points. I didn't really get much besides that. So I want to keep adding to that. Maybe I'll get inspired to go back and add to those Marines, those old Marines that I don't think I've put paint on for 2 years now, maybe 3. It was pre-COVID before last time I put paint on a Marine model. So maybe that'll do it. Maybe that'll get me back to Marines. What about you, Kicker?
Oh, okay. Hobby wise, I'm actually like in a really good hobby space. Like I feel like I used to really focus spending way too much time making my stuff look good and not get it to the table fast enough. And I found that nice balance of painting faster and meeting those results where I'm okay with the way they look. And I'm also getting to play way more. So I'm pretty happy with that balance. And that's been something I've really been trying to work on, but something that I suck at, which is amazing because I'm actually really organized in my daily life, is that my hobby space is not organized at all. And it pisses my wife off tremendously. So my goal is to try to actually organize my stuff because I got paints all over the place. I got like half built models. It's terrible. It's embarrassing. And I have an entire room and like my wife just doesn't go in that room anymore. She's like, I'm disgusted to go in here. So that's the goal. What about
disgusted? That's a
bad,
mighty word.
It's bad.
Yeah.
It is bad. Well, because like we have a nice house, but that hobby room is just it is bad. It's embarrassing. Seth, but what about other stuff? Maybe like you got any competitive goals you can try and like
I do. Are you ready, Kicker? Are you sitting down? Actually, I know you're not. You're not sitting down.
I'm not sitting down. I am standing up at my stand.
Tech Priest, are you ready for this?
Yeah. All right. Sit down.
Yes, I'm ready.
I'm calling the shot. Top 3 orcs next year.
Top 3 orcs.
Wow.
All right. I love it.
I'm saying it here.
Long
time orc player. It's time for me to claim my pride.
I didn't want to interrupt. We've had a lot of people chatting. Okay, words are hard. About tables and getting them at LVO.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
40K tables.
Yeah.
So getting the frontline gaming tables you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, so they were up for pre-order. I can put them back up for pre-order for another week. I'll put them up tomorrow. We just don't want to bring extra tables because they're really, it's bulky and we use up space in our trucks.
They're tables.
their table, right?
Yeah.
But the picking them up at LVO saves you a ton of money. So we did have them up for pre-order. We sold a ton, and then we took them off for pre-order at the same time we took off all the other merch.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can throw them back up on the website. If not, hit me up on Facebook, like in the next 2 days, and I'll add them to the and I'll square you away. But yeah, you want to pick them up at LVO because you not only get them for a cheaper price, but you also don't have to worry about shipping, so you save a ton of money that way.
Yeah, those things are not
Seth,
light.
I got to tell you, so you want to go for top 3 orcs?
Mhm.
I'm all for it. You got my support. I'll roll dice with you anytime if you need a sparring partner.
All
that
right.
you will just
I was like,
steamroll.
are you about to say I'm going for top 3 guard?
But I would like to get more RTTs in and more GTs in. I'd like to get at least 2 GTs in and many more RTTs. This year was bad. I mean, obviously there's a lot going on for work.
You
and
were
life.
organizing a few things.
Yeah, I know, but I'd like to be able to get a GT in at least every half of the year. I used to get one in every quarter, but that I got 1 GT in this year. That's not acceptable. I need to get in at least 2 GTs, and I like to get in an RTT one a month if I can. So that's the goal. Is it realistic? I don't know, but that's the goal. So yeah, there we're at. What about you, Tech Priest? What's your competitive goal? I know you've been practicing tremendously. What are you going? Are you going for
you are talking to the #1 Canadian prospect.
Oh,
there we go. The #1
Yeah.
Canadian prospect for the WTC team.
I'm glad we put that out on the air. You know what? My aspirations this year are quite honestly very team focused. So
Okay,
I'm
team
part
focused.
of the Canadian WTC team, and super honored and happy to be involved with that. So it's going to be very focused on that this year. For sure.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Seth, this is a long show. We should just run through the comp
Okay.
track. Oh, let's just run through we got to do the competitive track. Can we just do the top 5? Is that cool with you? Because we should probably
sure.
respect these people.
This is my speed version. Are you ready?
So
Are you
the
ready? Tech
ITC
Priest, with
recap,
the
guys.
advance on that slide. Ready?
Let's do it.
#1, Vic VJ. #2, Jack Harpster. #3, John Lennon. #4, David Gaylor. #5, Thomas Ogden. And that is your 40K competitive track. On to the 40K hobby track. Our #1 is Matt Ayer. #2, Andrew Gandhi. #3, Jacob Thayer. #4, Kevin Grubbs. #5, Lou Rollins. And that is your hobby track. Moving on to the AOS competitive track. Our #1 is Gavin Greiger. #2, Anthony Trentinelli. #3, Jamie Vizier. #4, Matt Beasley. #5, Thomas Kwan. And that is your AOS competitive track. And then heading on over to the AOS hobby track. Our #1 is Jeremy Williams. #2, Robert Snyder. #3, Ricky Fisher. #4, Nick Garcia. #5, Matt Beasley. And that is your ITC recap for the week.
Give this guy a
Boom.
round of applause. Holy fish sticks. What the hell, dude? That is impressive. I did not know you could do that, Seth.
It's not as fast as kicker talk, but it's pretty darn close.
That is but you didn't breathe. Like, what the hell?
I breathed.
You breathed? All right,
I did.
that's impressive.
I took breaths. I
Yeah,
promise I didn't pass out.
you that was very impressive. Seth, thank you so much for running through that, guys. Yeah, we are getting to the end of the season, so guys, not gonna be much movement now.
Nope, definitely not.
Yeah.
Kicker, it's good to be back, bud.
It is good to be back.
Yeah.
I want to tell people, we love the chat. We're so happy to have you guys here.
Yep.
I want to leave you guys with this one really important thing to think about through the next 7 days. Next week's episode is going to be very, very special. It is the continuation of our road to LVO. We might have a very important guest that will give you inside info on how to possibly do your best at the event.
Yeah, so looking forward to it. We've been talking with this guy for a while about getting him on, and I think next week is the time, Kicker.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Seth,
Right.
do you want to take us out?
Well, we thank you so much for joining us. We really hope you enjoyed this episode of Signals from the Frontline. Have a great week, and we will see you next Wednesday.
Good night, guys.